Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jezza Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Also available on Apple TV, Roku, and Twitch.
That's right, and it's Manifestation Monday. We're going to talk about emotions because it was an emotional weekend, not going to lie. So we're going to talk about the pitfalls of making emotions wrong. You got to love them.
That's right.
That's right. We come together every day to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, have inspiring stories, and build community. Have tons of coffee this morning.
What cup is that? What cup number is that?
It's actually 2.
Oh,
I did 2 in the morning.
That's pretty good.
It's hard to have the hashtag Monday vibes with so many incredible guests in the house. We're so excited to welcome you to the show this morning. Hello, everyone, back in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Vincent Del Monte has got the mic. Good morning, Vince. How are you today?
I'm doing amazing. I was up at 3:30. I trained at 4 a.m. and now we're here, but I have an advantage because I'm on East Coast time.
Oh.
Love that. Call that another day. Another day.
What time did you get up today?
3:30.
There you go.
Every day, 3:30. I love it.
I'm feeling some competition.
There's no competition.
No.
There's no competition.
Not at all. You do you. That's not ever going to work for me.
You do you, boo.
I'm so glad to see you with us today. We've got Rudy Maurer in the house, living that Maurer life and always making us jealous on his Insta stories, right?
Not going to lie.
Incredible.
Hey, how's it going?
We're so excited. Both of you, two very like-minded entrepreneurs, are in the house. Rumor has it you might work together.
Yeah. Coincidentally, we got booked, and yeah, we both kind of help people grow and scale their businesses online, especially in the health space, and we've been doing that for 10 years, yeah.
Rumor also has it that entrepreneurs love Mondays. Best day of the week. How do you start your day?
For me, I've got 3 kids, so it's a hit and miss. So your only advantage is waking up early and trying to get your workout in. And I do a little devotional as well before I get a text message from my wife to come up and get our 5-month-old. And my kids are on a new schedule where they're coming down for some reason, at 5:30.
Oh.
So they're playing in the home gym while I'm working out. And you just got to make do sometimes with the cards you're dealt. And just understand that everything is just a season, and not to confuse the temperature with the climate, or else you can get very discouraged sometimes.
Nice.
Ooh, yeah.
Extraordinary.
Yeah, for me, I'm lucky I don't have any of that, so I can wake up when I want. But yeah, I kind of wake up, and I have a big team, 20 employees, so the first thing I do is wake up, kind of set my day and my big tasks and goals. I tend to set 3 big kind of goals or tasks I want to achieve, and then I kind of get everyone else organized, and instead of children, I have staff to kind of look after. And
Same thing.
Set up.
Well, I'm like you. I have 3 kids and I'm a single mom. So I wake up at 4:30 and the first thing I do is go on the treadmill. That's my sanity. I'm not just trying to impress the fitness people there. What about you?
Well, I start with hi. Hi guys. I start with coffee. No one mentioned coffee. That's the number 1.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Then kids, lunches, because I'm a mom before I'm anything. Then carpool. Then clients. I wish I could say I started working out at 3 a.m., but I'm just not that devoted.
Olivia Kazanjian is my cousin. I'm so excited to have her in the house. She's amazing. Lots of bling. I'm always afraid to I'm going to have to have some money in the back pocket because she's going to have something that I'm going to die for.
Whip out that cash for whatever I've got.
She's always some cash when I'm around her.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll give you a discount.
Absolute incredible collection of new items mixed with some really amazing vintage estate pieces. And she's going to teach us how to tell our personal style stories through our pieces later in the show, right?
So important.
Yeah.
So excited. Well, thank you again all for being here today. We're excited to talk to you more later in the show.
Oh, I love my cousin.
That's so sweet. Huh?
She's actually one of the funniest people you'll ever meet in your entire life. She literally has our entire family on the floor laughing. They're very talented. Her side of the family is straight up comedians.
I'm noticing that success and I guess comedy runs the family, huh?
For sure. Just saying.
And good taste in jewelry.
And
good taste in jewelry, for sure, right?
That weekend.
Great. I spoke at the Badass magazine downtown. It was really beautiful. I had a photo shoot on body love. So, it's interesting because everybody, when we came together, all the speakers and everything, it was a common theme. I mean, yes, it may, any of our non-self-love or hurt or pain or anything going on can show in an eating disorder or things around our body, but really it comes down to the same core work. It doesn't matter whatever's going on, coming down to healing within, finding your true nature, finding the peace, finding the power.
Oh, love it. That's
right. How was your weekend, Jess?
Oh, it was great. I caught up with some friends. We had incredible brunches. I was planning for next weekend's event, the Focus on Beauty event happening here at the Focus Studios on February 2nd. So I was gearing up for that. And then last night I went to a Lakers game. It was so fun. Lakers played the Phoenix Suns at home at the Staples Center. Special thanks to Christy Buss and Angelica for bringing me along. When they had mentioned, they were like, oh, we're going to go to the Lakers game. I was like, can I go to the Lakers game? So I invited myself along, and it was a blast. It was so fun. Just the whole Staples Center was cheering, I want tacos, and just so involved. Like, talk about energy. You can really feel it, especially when you get the win.
Absolutely.
Well, especially because you went with like the family member.
Okay,
yeah, the Laker family.
So that helps a little bit.
I did go with a family member, and that definitely changes the whole experience. We got to go through the tunnel where the players and the families go through, and got to sit in the Champions Lounge and sat right center court, and you could see the expressions on these players' faces. I mean, you could smell their sweat. It was so cool.
That's awesome.
I loved it.
The only thing that could possibly make that better is LeBron James being back.
Well, okay, but LeBron was there, and let me tell you,
Yeah.
I think he's getting style tips from you. He had on these short tuxedo pants with these real cool kicks. And it's like hot blazer, but he looked very Rob Mack. Our executive producer Andy and I were like, Rob? Oh, LeBron.
Oh man, I will see that.
And speaking of, this was not coordinated, these outfits today, kid you not. Like,
This has happened, right?
Like, there's one mind, there's one fashion mind too, apparently.
It's amazing to me how often this happens.
Right.
It happens so often.
Yeah.
We're just gonna, we're gonna have like a photo shoot after
I
this
know.
or something today. It's like on point.
I know.
Speaking of photo shoot, we're really excited. We're going to be included in the next issue of the Marie Westwood magazine coming out next month in just a couple weeks, so stay tuned for that. We have a really sexy editorial spread coming
So
out.
excited to see that. That was a fun shoot.
Yes.
Yep. So what did you do the weekend?
I worked on my book, so I finished Joy from the Inside Out. Almost. I'm like just about there.
Wait, what's it called?
Joy from the Inside
Oh my
Out.
gosh,
It's
how
meditations
fun.
on happiness. So they're short little sutras essentially. I did that, and then I mostly did some logistical stuff. Like I'm going to do a show called I Suck at Dating with Vanessa Grimaldi. So we're going to do that next Monday.
I could be one of your guests.
Yeah. Like everybody could be a guest on that show, right?
Yeah, I'm horrible at it. One time somebody said, are you trying to do a business deal or are we on a date? And I was like, oh, I really need to scale back maybe some of that masculine energy.
All right, a little aggressive.
I guess so.
Speaking of, I don't know what was going on, but I felt so emotional yesterday. And I went out with Sarah Delane. We had a little, every once in a while we're like, I gotta get out of the house, I gotta get out of the house too, let's meet up. So we went to the Grove and we had a little meal up on top of Nordstrom's looking over. And I was like, I am so emotional. She goes, I'm so emotional too. I feel like a truck ran over me. And we're talking about how the emotions are really interesting because sometimes we think it's all about us, and sometimes it is. Sometimes we put a positive or a negative meaning on it, but sometimes it's because there's something going on. It can be, we're one with the cosmic consciousness and the collective consciousness, and sometimes there's stuff going on. So I did this live, and it was amazing how many people were like, I didn't know what was going on with my emotions also. So I thought we'd talk about that on Manifestation Monday, about emotions and kind of the pitfalls of making it wrong, the judgment and all that stuff. So
Let's do it. It's so
how do you
interesting.
deal with that with your clients?
Oh, well, you bring up a great point, because when I was a child, I always assumed that the anxiety I felt was my own and that I wasn't picking up on anything on the environment and other people. And I realized later that I was just sensitive. And I remember reading a book at some point written by Osho, and he basically said, to be insensitive in this world means essentially not to experience the stress or the anxiety or any of these other things, and that when you feel stress and you feel anxiety, you're just more sensitive and more aware of what's happening in you and around you.
So true.
Right? And so,
right.
It makes me think of that quote, one of my favorites, and I'm sure you've heard it before, but maybe think of it in a different light. Give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I think that's key, especially when you're doing self-reflection around your emotions.
No question
Yeah,
about it. I think one of the biggest pitfalls, I think, is to make it wrong, because what we resist persists, for sure. So I was thinking, what is it? What's my own advice? I'm like trying to take my own advice, like, okay, what do I do? Oh yeah, just observe and experience the emotions, because we don't know what that is. It's an intelligence going through us. Sometimes, I was thinking about it, this is a little bit like deep, if you will, but if you're, even sexually, if you're not having a release there, sometimes you need to release through your emotions. Sometimes you need to like just allow the emotions to come through. Sometimes they're intelligence telling you to get back in alignment with your truth. Sometimes it's because, you know, obviously you may have to do inner work or whatever that is. Sometimes it's hormonal and it's a sign to go get things checked out. But I think it's always an intelligence and it's always a good thing.
I completely agree with you, and by far the greatest tool I've ever discovered for dealing with emotions is just detached or non-judgmental awareness. It's realizing that you're not the emotion, you're not the thought.
Right.
You may experience the thought, you may experience the emotion. Even the happiest people and the most depressed people experience pretty much the same thoughts and emotions. They just have different relationship to those thoughts and emotions.
So true.
So where do you go though to, in your mind or in your emotions, to not experience or judge that? Because when you're in the throes of it, I know for myself, even just this past weekend, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, what's going on with me, this, that, and the other. Feeling like I got hit by a truck of emotions, I'm mad. I should know better. I've got all these blessings in my life. Why do I feel that way? So how do I stop myself from doing that? I know I should, but I don't know how.
I think we all have activities that allow us to do it naturally and easily. So for me, working out, walking in nature, you know, petting a puppy or something like that allows me to tap into that place of presence and peace instantly, easily, and sort of effectively. That being said, you can do it anywhere. I would encourage you to practice when and where it's easy though. So like being in a crowd surrounded by noisy people, probably not the best place. Instead, being at home, being out in nature, being on the beach is for me a much more effective and easy place to tap into and turn on to peace and presence. But I would say that you can do it anywhere, but you want to begin practicing when and where it's easy.
I remember someone saying years ago, instead of having emotions use them. And it's like, I know that when I'm getting emotional, sometimes you get frustrated or angry or whatever's going on. It's like, that's the time to command truth. Instead of we command our emotions and our subconscious in those hard times and emotions, and we decide I'm not good enough, something's wrong with me. Like that's the worst thing we can possibly do. It's like
judge.
It's like those good athletes at the Lakers. They use that anger. They use that to go, okay, now I'm going to actually decide and command what I really want in my life, and use this to like.
It's a good point.
You know,
it's sort of like, and I love that. And I love the question you asked, Jeslyn, because I think at the end of the day, one of the things that's been helpful for me is to remind myself that this world, this life, my thoughts and emotions are essentially movies. It's like a movie being projected on a movie screen. And as long as I'm aware that it's just a movie and I don't buy into the reality of it, every single time I have that thought or that emotion, I can step back and be like, oh, that's just Brad Pitt acting up in that character right now. I don't need to take it so seriously. He's playing his role, he's playing his part.
That's so interesting. I was recently listening to an interview here at Focus TV, and they were mentioning this meditation around watching the movie that is your life. Well, I got real sick of that after about minute number 2. And they were like, wake up. And it just kept going. They're like, see yourself. What do you do first thing in the morning? Observe yourself. But it was really interesting. I wasn't sick of it after minute number 2. I felt really sad. And I felt forgiveness in a way that I thought, oh, this is just this girl trying to live her life, trying to make her dreams come true. Why are you so hard on her?
So true. It's interesting. One of my favorite books is Dying to Be Me by Anita Moorjani, and she writes about having this near-death experience, and when she has this experience, she has this realization that her whole life, all she's done is judge herself. And when she's having this sort of near-death experience, she also feels complete love and unconditional peace and bliss and happiness. And when she returns, because she survived the near-death experience, obviously, she returns to Earth, she said her only job in the whole world was simply to do her best to love herself. And I think when you just are able to observe your thoughts and emotions from a place of non-judgmental awareness, like everything that's meant to happen happens in a healthy, happy way, Jess. So like everything resolves itself. The feelings of, you know, the lack of forgiveness, the frustration, the upsetness, it all dissolves itself just with that awareness.
So true. I could talk to you guys. We're just not going to have a show today.
All day.
We're just going to sit here and talk about this all day, right?
I know,
Such an
best.
important conversation. Unfortunately, we have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to ask all of our extraordinary guests how they have created and manifested lives that they love. Stay tuned.
thank you for tuning in to the Model Mom Show. I'm your host, Tara Tenner, and Shelton, we are signing off. Thanks, bye.
Beautiful. I'm so glad to have you.
Thank you.
I feel so lucky. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me. Cheers. Here's to a good Friday night. Thanks, Michelle, and I will see you again next time.
And thank you, everyone, for joining in. This has been another episode of Mind, Body, Spirit, and I'm Dr. Kate.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys live your best life. Peace out. Peace out.
And thank you for watching the LA Home Show, where we discuss all things real estate, interior design, and much, much more. We'll see you next time. You're watching Passion to Paycheck on the Focus TV network.
Thanks for watching. Tune in next time.
So I'm your host, Serena Poon, and thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
And if you want to binge watch these videos, they will be on Focus TV network. Check that out. We will see you soon. Thank you so much for being here. Bye, everyone.
Bye. I greatly appreciate your service.
It was an honor to serve. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode of Purpose. I am your host, Brittany Zonker, and I will see you next time. It's been such a treat to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love you.
Erin Ziering, Millennial Moms, the best blogger parent out there.
Thank you.
Aww. Thanks, guys, for watching.
Yeah. All right, thanks, guys, for watching. You're watching The Ren Wood Show on Focus TV Network. We'll see you next time. Until next time, guys, on Focus TV Network, sipping that tea where we sip
Yes,
that tea
and our guest spiller.
tea.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Well, thanks again, and we'll see you guys next time on Moms Matter.
Thank you for listening, and DM us, follow us on social media.
Charo, baby!
I appreciate your time today. Casey Montoya, you are a woman warrior.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you for letting me talk about this.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's so sweet.
Thank you to the Focus TV studios for another great episode, and I'll see you guys next time.
We are Good Morning LALALAND, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And you can listen to all your favorite interviews available as a podcast on iTunes.
That's right. We're waking up the world together. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and check out this amazing, amazing people.
It's going to be a Good Morning LALALAND.
Well, thank you so much for watching and for listening to Celeb CEOs with Rachel McCord. This is Erin Kerman, and we've got Jax, and tell me her name one more
Lucy.
time. Lucy in the studio making lots of fun noises. Mwah, we love you. Tune in next time. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Sam.
Welcome back to Good Morning LALALAND on Motivation and Manifestation Monday. No better guest than to teach us a little about coaching. Vince is in the house. He's a biz coach for fitness experts, right?
That's right.
Welcome to LA.
Thank you.
Where do you live?
Toronto, Ontario.
Ah, we like that city.
Yeah.
So fun.
It's amazing.
And before the age of 30, you had a 7-figure business.
Yeah, for 8 years.
For skinny guys.
For 8 years, yeah. Helping beginner skinny guys build muscle without drugs, without supplements, and in less time. That was the tagline. And I just doubled down on that market. That was my story. I used to be nicknamed Skinny Vinny.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So when I started my online business, my business coach actually told me, this is in 2005, I think it's a very bad idea that you're gonna sell muscle building product. The market's way too saturated. That was in 2005, but I saw it as a good thing because people are already looking for this solution, and I figured there's never gonna be a shortage of skinny guys who wanted to build their biceps, right? Mm-hmm. And that was my story. That was my story.
I love that. Many coaches now, it's a real loud world out there. But I think what's interesting about what you're doing is you've picked a niche.
Yeah.
And I love that because you're like, it's like you're team fitness experts.
Yeah.
So how does that look like? If I'm a fitness expert and I'm like, why should I work with you?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
That's great. I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years, right? So this isn't like a side gig because I can't make it anymore. I've evolved. And one of the things one of my mentors told me when my fitness business literally started plateauing, and I was comparing myself to other online guys. And I was wondering, why is my business not growing as fast as them? And it was because I was still filming the same workouts and content that I was filming like 5 years ago, and I wasn't evolving. Like, I was a father, I had 3 kids, and I'd already helped a lot of guys build a successful and profitable online fitness business, and I was afraid to, like, how do I consolidate those worlds? How do I be a fitness coach one day and business coach another day? And I had a mentor who told me, hey Vince, you know, if you don't show up differently, you don't show up at all.
So in showing up differently and evolving, how did your 5 M's play into that?
Well, that's my story, right? I'm a product of the 5 M's of manhood, which is muscle, mindset, money, mission, and marriage. And really that's what guys have sought me out for. What I found is that people come for the fitness advice, but they stay for the life advice. And those were the things that I was talking about. You know, I wasn't just talking about muscle, muscle, muscle. Like, if we went out tonight, we'd probably talk about muscle like maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, it's a part of my life, but I've said enough about that subject matter. I'm really passionate about helping people do what I've done. And it was just making the leap and making that transition and saying, hey, this is where we're going. And that became an inspiring message for others, because many people can relate to doing something they've been comfortable with for a long time, because I know how much I can make every year. My wife knows how much we'll bring in if I keep doing that, but it's not where I'm called to be. And I think I learned the difference between a career and a calling.
So you're like a dating coach instead, because everyone comes to you because they look up to you because you have a good marriage and kids and whatever. They're like, I want to be like him.
I don't give parenting advice. I'll give parenting advice when I'm 85 years old. I don't touch that subject matter. Yeah.
But it's so fascinating, don't you think, that people they come for one thing, but really it's because they look up to they want your life. They want.
That's what I tell everybody. I just put a post up on Instagram yesterday, and it was, do people buy coaches or do people buy coaching? Because a lot of people come to me and they feel the marketplace is saturated, and I believe people buy coaches. Coaching is features, everybody who's legit has a pretty good program, right? And somebody might vibe with you, they might not vibe with me. They might like your personality, they won't like my personality. They'll love your story, they won't like my story. So I believe there's room for everyone.
In looking to scale, how do you avoid a scam?
A scam?
A scam, because some of these coaches can be scams. Some of these programs in businesses, and how do you avoid that?
3 words: trust. Actually 4. Trust, but always verify.
Uh-oh. That sounds very Andy Waldman-like, doesn't it?
I know that's
our executive producer.
Always says that.
Yeah,
Trust,
so what I would do, because I've been scammed, I got actually my wife's money when we had our first baby. We wanted to blow up her business, and she targets moms, and we wanted to get into Facebook ads, and we found 2 guys who found a couple that was looking to outsource their marketing, which is a huge mistake, all right? There's no
such thing.
No one's going to come and save the day for you, right? And we handed them $55,000, and we didn't figure it out for an entire year that they were legitimate con artists. We didn't see a single penny. It created a lot of stress in the marriage, and we got burned bad. I use that story now to save my coaching clients a lot of money, but the way you avoid that is you find out if they've helped the person that you want to become. So you find a trusted mentor, and you talk to their students and go to their events. You do your homework. You don't just hand somebody money. I'd love to talk to 3 of your students, and then you decide.
Well, thank you for clarifying what that homework is, because a lot of times people don't know. They Google it, they see a beautiful website, and they think, oh, that's enough. If they've built a website, I can trust them.
Yeah. I like to find people that have events, because you can go to the event and you can meet people who've been mentored by them. You can shake their hand, because people are very different up close than from a distance. So you can talk to their students. That's what you need to do. You can say, hey man, what's it like working with so and so? You making any money right now? What's it really like? And again, you don't want to. Again, at the same time, with all this being said, is that success is your responsibility. I truly believe that if you join a coaching program and they don't deliver on
very true,
anything,
yeah.
and you get scammed, that's the best thing that can happen to you because you won't let it happen to you again. So you learn from something from it, and you say, hey, you know what? I gained one gem out of that whole experience. I didn't get anything that I was promised, but I learned that I need to trust, but not always verify. And then you'll take that into the next experience. So
such a good point. Like, you know, that's something I only realized later, that you want to make as many mistakes as humanly possible. Just try not to make the same mistake twice, which is really hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So true.
So speaking of success, what would you say have been your top keys to success? Like, what are your signature strengths that have led to success?
I'm teachable. You know, all the way back to high school, I was a runner. University, same thing. I'm a product of mentors. I really am. Our father really invested heavily into my brothers and I, my parents, both of them. So I truly believe that you need to get around a trusted mentor, somebody who has what you want in excess. Somebody who has what you want. If you want 16, train with somebody who's got 18-inch arms. Right? If you want a 6-pack, you know, you should find somebody who's got an 8-pack. You know what I'm saying? If you want to make $1 million a year, you should find somebody who's made $2 million a year. So it's just really finding someone who's done what you want to do, and somebody that you have that connection with that also has the same vision and values as you. Because one of the things I teach people is that it's easy to make money. It's how you make it.
It is so true.
It's easy to get ripped. How did you do it? You know what I'm saying? It's easy to build a big business, but did you kick your family to the curb in the process? So that's, I think, one of the things I'm trying to teach my guys and gals. We're gonna get there. You're gonna build the page. You're gonna get the customers. You're gonna make the money. That's easy. But who do you want to become in the process of doing it? And I think that's what I'm really helping people focus on, like figuring out who you want to become versus what you want to do. And then you let your, you know, do flow from your who.
Who do you want to be to your clients, to the world?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, I would love to be somebody who's growing, somebody who's having that, you know, success in the areas that they want. But at the same time, I want my family to still be beside me. And I don't want to be out here knowing my wife's back home resenting me that I'm on another trip and having nice dinners and on this amazing show with you guys. And I want her to know that we're working towards something together. So being able to do this without the people around me feeling like they're getting Vince's second best, because it's just the Vince show.
So true. So
where can people
find you, work with you?
Yeah, Instagram. That's where I hang out. I do my best to respond to everybody. I live on Instagram like most people do these days. At Vince Del Monte. That's the #1 place.
Love it.
Great
love it.
Instagram page too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
find somebody that you really look up to their life and make it happen. Stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back.
Hi, world.
Hi.
We are behind the scenes here at the Focus TV network.
This is my first time ever going live.
Really?
I've never gone live.
Okay, good. So I'm glad. See, we're finally live.
Yeah.
This is good.
Thank you, Erica.
Yeah, girl.
For making it happen.
Also, follow at _Erica Delacour. Oh my God. I think I'm gonna cut it off.
Yeah.
No, hold on.
No, just put it in the middle.
Yeah! Dum 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 dum.
Are you asking what my nationality? Oh, I'm Mexican and Russian.
I'm Mexican and Spanish. A little Irish in there.
All the colors of the white rainbow.
Exactly. All the colors of the Blanco rainbow. That means white in Spanish.
Good job.
Hi, my name is Jessie Golden, and I am the creator of The Golden Secrets, a completely, no, hang on a second, sorry. Can we start over? And this is my secret to golden, no, sorry. Just retrain your brain for the positive. Yeah, it's like so hard. It's so hard. Oh my God, such the process. I got it. Yes, a golden secret. It's no longer a golden secret.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. I'm so excited to welcome to the show the CEO and founder of Kids in the House, Leanna Green. Thank you so much for being with us.
Welcome to the show.
You have built a massive library. In fact, the world's largest library of parenting videos.
You did your homework.
I did. But tell me about your journey into building Kids in the House.
Well, I was a parent myself, and I needed something like that. You know, it's when you work and you have 3 kids, you don't have time to read the parenting books. You buy them, and they end up on your little toilet table or something. So this is a way for a parent to get an advice with, you know, on a topic, 2-minute answer, and then go on with the day.
So at what point though in your life did you realize this is missing in the world and I'm going to create this for myself?
Well, I had another business and I was a mom, full-time mom, and I realized also that if you live in LA, you have access to incredible experts. But you might not have the same access if you live in a little town. And so this sort of equalizes and gives everyone access to the best experts in the world.
So let's talk about, like, what are some of the most viewed questions? What the answers? What do people ask?
Well, the big stresses are the first year, because people don't sleep. That would be one. And then having teenagers.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
You covered
that one, Erin? Yeah, I have a 23-year-old son.
Yeah, so you know.
Yes, I do remember what to expect when you're expecting. And a lot of, you know, oh, here we go, little view of it. It looks beautiful, amazing. So yeah, I think that some of the biggest questions, you know, I think it's just so challenging as a parent, you know, like, what should you do to even like regiment your kids? Like, I remember being so torn. Like, I didn't want to have my son cry in the crib, but I didn't want to, you know, just like be there too much to where he just got used to that. It was a real torment as a mother, especially the first like 6 months.
But that's also the thing, not every parenting style works for every parent. That's a perfect example, actually. Everybody has a different way to sleep train. So this way you can look at 6 different sleep experts and says, you know what, this person feels right to me.
That makes sense.
Because and also I have 3 kids, so I thought I figured it all out, and then the other kid comes with different.
You're a completely different kid, right? They have their personality.
What was the most challenging part about building the library and building the platform?
I think the technology, to manage to get it away so it worked.
Yeah.
Dealing with developers, that was. I started with one developer that really kind of, like he said, I got taken advantage of, and so getting the technical part to work.
And was the challenge in the translation? Because I found that that's often the difficulty, is translating it from the vision that you have into what the technologist can do, essentially, for you. Is that part of the challenge?
Yeah, and then it's just so many videos, and so to make it all work.
Yeah. Right.
I
love it.
I think it's such a great platform because, especially for somebody who would want to become a mother, I'm terrified that I don't know enough and that I never know enough to be prepared to be in a journey like that or fulfill that role. Do you offer videos for people like me? And
yes, that's the beautiful part. You have 500 experts in your smartphone. You can just look up anything you need. And then we also have long-form classes behind a paywall. So you can have, instead of going to see the class, or take the class, you can take the class in your home, and then you can go back. How was I going to give the baby a bath again? I don't remember. You can go back and see the section again.
I love that. So is it membership, or how do people find the videos? How do they watch them?
So we have free videos. You can search 9,000 videos. And then we have more classes and long-form content behind a paywall. And then we also have, just like you, a live show, where we usually put like 7 experts on a topic, and maybe a celebrity mom who dealt with it, and then we do live streams.
Love that.
And we have experts on Skype, and so
it's really brilliant. It's a great niche for sure. People need it.
I'm trying to create the manual.
So tell people where they can find the videos, how they can search them.
So kidsinthehouse.com. Very easy to remember. Kids in the house.
And how many kids do you have in your house?
3.
And how old are they now?
So I have a big spread. I have 10 is the youngest one boy, and then I have a 16-year-old, 19-year-old girl. So one in college. Same ex-husband, but big spread.
But you have got the manual. Thank you so much for all the time and effort it takes to create that.
Yeah, helping me spread the word.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I'm Kimberly Chang, and I'm a woman warrior.
And then another one, nonsense. I'm just kidding. You guys are all so newsy. I'm like, who was that? Was that Liberty?
Do you want the definition of a woman warrior?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask. Oh, I'm definitely. She's like,
okay.
Give me the question. So it could be resilience.
I was just gonna say that.
Okay, great. Done. Done. That's a great one. Woo! Love that.
We're gonna keep it real on Sweat with Soul.
That's a wrap.
Okay. I said Dr. B show. I'm just having fun. This is so hard. What else do I need to do? Oh. That's my life. That's funny. No, can we start all over? That's too much talking. Do I just talk again? That was so hard. Thank you. Living that more life today on Hashtag Monday. Rudy Moore is in the house. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Pleasure.
You have been recognized as one of the most successful entrepreneurs, extraordinary people here in the U.S., and built a multi-million-dollar company.
By the time you're 26.
Yeah.
So,
I don't even know where you even begin.
Right?
To do that.
We want to begin with your social media because it's on point, not going to lie. I mean, we see a lot of social media, but you have this way of bringing in great value. Tell us a little bit about how your plan, your social media plan.
Yeah, sure. So I obviously kind of teach it. So I guess the first thing is like if you're a personal trainer, you've got to be in shape. And if I'm teaching business building and marketing, it's key. But I'm a big believer whenever I teach someone is about adding value first. And, you know, a lot of people in social media and marketing and, you know, digital marketing space, they try sell before they've added a ton of value to people. So we always try and, you know, like get a blend of adding value and content with also just, you know, being authentic to you and the kind of lifestyle I live and who I am and what I do. You know, just so kind of getting that balance. Yeah.
Question. How do you know you're adding value? Because I think a lot of people feel very strongly that they are adding value. And maybe some other folks would disagree about that.
I mean, so a big thing is just the engagement, right? So that's what, when we work with, say, influencers, for example, as an agency, we can kind of tell and analyze an account and see how much value they're adding because of the comments and the type of comments. Because if the comments are very shallow, just like an emoji, for example, it normally means that they're adding less value than if there's like essays or questions or them replying back to the person and treating everyone individually and adding value on an individual basis.
As a millionaire, by the time you were 26, what are 4 traits that you think all millionaires have?
Good question. Yeah, so I think the mindset's the biggest thing. So just having that determined mindset that they're, you know, whatever happens, they're always going to be successful and they're going to reach their goal no matter what barrier. Because I mean, you guys interview a ton of successful people and they've all had adversity and they've all had issues and problems along the way, and they never quit. That's the difference, right? Whereas other people quit. So I think that's the first one. I think kind of goal setting's a big one. So we will talk about goal setting, but a lot of like millionaires and entrepreneur friends I have, we goal set on such a micro and macro level. So we're goal setting daily, we're goal setting weekly, we're goal setting with our team, we're goal setting yearly and 10 years ahead, right? So I think that's definitely a big one. 2 more would probably be the time efficiency. So like myself and a lot of my friends too, we protect our time like our most precious asset. So we literally, like the mindset I have is if I can earn more per hour than what I'm going to pay someone to do it, right? And that's a big big thing, which has allowed me to achieve so much by the time I was 26 or 27 now.
That's a point that's very interesting and worth like underscoring, right? Because a lot of people have a lot of resistance about that. They're always constantly busy. They never have enough time or energy, anything, but they're doing lots of things that they could pay somebody else to do. You know.
Yeah, there's always someone way busier than you, probably way more successful, and the only reason they're there is they became more, you know, they've not created more hours, there's only ever 24 hours a day.
I always remember someone saying, Oprah has the same 24 hours we have, right? So it's like, what can you get done? Delegation and getting your team for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
So that's a big one for sure. And that's kind of I learned that at like 18, and that's helped me get this far because I learned it at a young age and then started.
But I want to ask, and I know we did 3 out of the 4, so we're going to want you to the 4th one. Just kidding.
Back.
But no, I think that one of the interesting things watching people who are coaching and the difference for what I've kind of seen is, number one, they coach with even bigger coaches, every last one of them, because there's like a network that comes along with that coach, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say is that kind of secret sauce? I mean, because we know the mindset, we know these things, but what is the real secret? Like, okay, come on, give us what really had the success.
So I mean, my 4th one probably would be networking too, right? And that's why, so the last 2 years actually, I flew 50 times both years. So I traveled like on average every week, basically.
That's the secret, you got to fly a lot?
Yeah, pretty much. You get a lot of air miles. But I mean, surrounding myself, and that's why I moved to America too, right? I left my family and my businesses, just random, like one day just flew and left everything with a suitcase. And I did that because I knew that the networking and kind of surrounding myself with people far more successful than me would help me kind of raise the bar and raise my kind of goals.
But in meeting those people, you can't just say, hi, nice to meet you. You're much more successful than me. Now please help me.
Sure, yeah.
So what is your approach in that?
Masterminds, right?
Well, I have the British charm, so I'm lucky because my accent, I get away with anything. But yeah, if you don't have the English accent, just again, add in value, right? So we actually teach this, and a lot of people will go, hey, can I pick your brain for an hour? You know, and anyone successful hates that, right? Whereas if they go and, again, be genuine and ask questions and then maybe even try and go a step further and add value. So look at, because millionaires have problems too, right? Just because they're successful, they actually have more problems than someone that isn't successful. So if you can go and provide a solution, or even, you know, I've had people send me like artwork, send me gifts, and that grabs my attention, and then they're like, hey, you know, we talk, and then they want to jump on a call for 30 minutes, and I help them because they've kind of showed an interest and gone the extra mile. So I think going the extra mile and adding value to that person.
I love that. So work with you, what does it look like? What do you do versus the next person? And we've talked about earlier about people by the coach, they like your personality. But so what is it about you that people...
So that might be the award.
And the British charm.
Yes.
And the hair, for sure.
So I guess the difference between me and some business and marketing companies and coaches is, again, I built a multi-million-dollar business myself before I ever taught anyone or helped anyone. And I actually only formed my agency, which is now one of the biggest in our space, because of my network in the space. Everyone saw me grow really fast and started, hey, can you help me? Hey, can you help me? Can you do this? And then all of a sudden I had like a big agency and a big demand, so I was like, oh, let's kind of roll with it, you know? So I think the biggest thing is experience, and also the fact that I'm still applying it. So I'm not just kind of applying it for clients, I'm applying it every day for my own businesses still. So I'm ahead of the curve, and I'm learning techniques before most people in the world are, which we can apply.
So then what's next for you?
Good question. Yeah, who knows? Like, if you'd asked me 3 years ago, would I be doing this? I'd probably say no. But, you know, my biggest goal right now is to just keep growing my agency to help people, because I saw how, for me, learning marketing and Facebook ads and funnels, how that changed my life and helped me like impact 1 million+ people with my fitness stuff. So now I want to help other companies do that, because I know there's, you know, people watching this and people across the world that are amazing at what they do. But you can be the best in the world at what you do, but if you don't know how to help people, it's useless. So that's kind of my passion now, is to let other experts reach and impact millions of people.
Love it, love it, love it. So how can people find you?
Yeah, so Instagram, just kind of search in Rudy Moore, R-U-D-Y-M-A-W-E-R, or Google me. I have a unique name, so luckily I'm all over the internet. So yeah, Google me, and my website's roimachines.com.
Nice.
Well, thank you, Rudy.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Right.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more Good Morning La La Land.
Erin Cruz, television personality, best-selling author, and founder of Passion to Paycheck, and this is my life. I grew up in a really small town called Los Banos, California, then San Diego State for college. So I started working inside of fashion and television and made my leap to Los Angeles. From there, I wrote a best-selling book called Passionistas, Tips, Tales, and Tweetables from Women Pursuing Their Dreams. Also met the love of my life who proposed publicly. ABC, The Knot, and Pop Sugar picked it up. Thank you, baby. That all led to the conference Passion to Paycheck, which is now a talk show here on the Focus TV network. My purpose here with Passion to Paycheck is to bring transparent, vulnerable conversation not only to your TV screens and your digital platforms, but to society as a whole. And this is my life.
Hello, I'm Ross Matthews, television personality, and this is my life. I grew up in a little teeny tiny little farm town called Mount Vernon, Washington, which was difficult because I'm like a gay cartoon version of a person. But I always loved showbiz and Hollywood. And so 30 seconds after I graduated high school, I got in my car and I drove to Hollywood. And then I got an internship on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno and they put me on the air. And I've been making it work now on TV for almost 20 years. Can you believe that? I've interviewed everybody from Meryl Streep to Michelle Obama and Donald Trump. It's a dream life, and I'm grateful every single day. Let's see if I can fool them for 20 more. This is my life.
Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa. Nothing like motivation, like jewelry, just saying.
Motivation for adornment.
Yes.
My cousin, Olivia Kazanjian, is in the house, one of my favorite people in the world.
Well, good. We're related. You better
That's
like
good,
me.
yeah.
Better like
It's required.
Me. You have
Really?
to. Comes
And
along with the territory.
Absolutely adore your collection. When
Thank
I went to
you.
your website, I think you've really amassed such a unique curation of vintage and modern pieces. Yeah. But that is a fine art.
Well, I like to call it ADD. Because I can't really decide. I do have ADD. The whole family does. I think we're all just a little bit off. But I couldn't really decide where I wanted to go. I knew I loved the idea of vintage pieces because we come from grandmothers that loved jewelry and that told stories through their jewelry. And then I'm really active, my kids are really active, our family's really active, and so I started making these little tiny bracelets that people could be active in and still feel like they were adorned. And jewelry is such a personal thing. It's such an ancient, I mean, it's the first thing people had, beads, and they would adorn their bodies and beautify their bodies and tell a story about who they were, who they are, the colors that they love. And I kind of wanted to build all that into my collection. So I started taking vintage pieces like this. Erin, you were just looking
I'm
at
like,
that.
hand it over,
so,
sister.
No, but
So gorgeous.
our grandmother had
the brooches.
a shoulder of these bees. She would just have like buzzing bees on her shoulder. But like people don't really wear pins like that anymore. It's sort of this old-fashioned thing. So I just kind of had them soldered onto rings.
So gorgeous.
And I did that with a lot of stuff. But you should be able to wear it with other stuff. Nothing's too precious. If you let it sit in a safe, it's not going to serve you. I think you should wear it and love it.
But I think that one of the brilliant things you've done, you hold it like in different homes. It's a whole thing. And there's some people that want the real, they want the estate jewelry. They want that really expensive piece. And then they also could have a little bracelet that's just a perfect little add-on, but you bring people together, and that's what, because you make people laugh, and that you're also like a psychologist at the same time.
You're right.
No,
it actually, Erin, it's true what you're saying, because it started off just people asking me, oh, can you find me a Rolex, or can you find me this or that. Our family business on my husband's side is jewelry, and then it started. People would come over and they'd have a glass of wine and they would talk. And then you would try a bracelet on them, and they'd be like, "Don't look at my hands. My hands are so horrible."
Next thing you know, we're spending thousands of dollars.
No, it wasn't that. But it really was like psychology of people have, I don't like my neck, I don't like my thing, but if they see, no, it's beautiful, you look beautiful, and what you have is beautiful, and you just keep going with it. So there is kind of this psychology behind jewelry and adornment that I think is really important. And I see you've got a little bling on too.
No, this is
this is your honey. You are keeping up. Look at you. Look at this.
That's
I know.
What tips would you give someone watching who wants to be able to mix some of the old with the new and to really start being able to adorn themselves?
So there's this new show right now with that woman who says if it doesn't spark joy, don't have it in your house. First of all, there's some jewelry that you hold and you go, oh, there's something like mourning jewelry. Victorian mourning jewelry is really hard for me, or hair jewelry. This is back in the Victorian era. They would, the women would only wear black. They could only wear black and black jewelry too, and it was because they've lost someone in their family. So that's really hard to have. People collect it and they love it, but for me, it's a really sad jewelry, and it carries energy. So first of all, see what you really like, what goes, oh my gosh, this is just really bringing some greatness inside of me. You go back to that one. Yeah, and then so I
You may not get one that back, I don't think.
I always talk about charms, what's it saying about you? What do you want to say? So take what you already have and build from that. Take your great-grandmother's little tennis bracelet, or even if it's nothing, maybe it's just a little silver something that actually holds a lot of memory for you, and build from that, because you're telling a story. I believe that jewelry can be a great connector. It can, oh my gosh, look, tells it, that is tells you, like it immediately, it's the first thing I see. Erin's got her divine love going on. So that is straight up like, this is what I'm all about. And some people choose to do that, and some people don't.
Totally. Do you remember the first piece of jewelry you had that you really connected with? It was yours.
It's a really good. Okay, so yes, I do. My godmother, and this is actually where these came from. My godmother gave me those build-a-bead necklaces with hollow beads. And I, as a nervous ADHD kid, still am, I'm like, I immediately took those hollow gold balls and bit them down on the thing, because I loved that feeling of just, So I had this crunkly, like, gold ball that I actually kind of liked. My mom was like, she's French. She goes, I cannot believe that you did that to your necklace. I'm like, no, I actually really like it. So I was sitting on the beach, actually just like, what am I gonna do? And these are hollow balls smashed onto bracelets.
Beautiful.
And that came from that piece of jewelry. So that's a really good question, because that's the first time that I really thought I can take something that already exists and put my own imprint on it.
Right. Literally.
So I'm just smashing balls.
I'm the greatest advocate of jewelry, because first of all, I don't have a lot of jewelry.
You don't. You're very
and because it's like whatever. Usually it's come from family, like one or two pieces, and I have a few things I'll wear them over and over and so I never have a problem if I'm going to buy a piece of jewelry. Buy the jewelry, because it is something that it represents you, and you don't need a lot. If you have good jewelry, you only need a few pieces.
No, it's like anything. Yeah. It's like if you have a good pair of shoes and a cashmere blazer, you're ready to go. And you can keep it really simple, just plain hoops, and then adorn the rest with little things that you find on your travels. But it's good to have a solid bangle. It's good to have, you know what I mean? Like,
you gotta have a good bangle.
You gotta have a good bangle. You have to have some studs. Those are always great. They don't have to be real. Don't get crazy. But there's a kind of a look.
I love it.
And what about the movement for women not getting diamonds for their engagement ring?
I love that. In Europe, I said before, my mom's French. In Europe, you don't really necessarily get a diamond. You would get emeralds, you would get sapphires, you would get rubies, things that were passed down. And this whole idea of bigger,
Where are these women at?
But you
have to revisit this marriage thing.
It's true. You can take a diamond that's dated. Like, let's say there's a family diamond that's dated. I took this one and it was facing the wrong way, and just make it modern by facing it the other way, or rethinking it in a different way. You don't have to spend tons of money on jewelry. For the bigger is not better. I definitely don't think bigger is better. I think refined.
We all agree with that one.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so can people actually have you, say they want to find yourself, but they also want to have a party? Because I'm sure there's so many different ways that you go into. I've seen you in great stores. I've seen you in estate homes.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
So I do lots of trunk shows for fundraisers. I think it's really great to always be able to give back. I also go into people's homes where they invite their friends over and we have a jewelry party, but I always try to have it be a give back in that case. Because I get to do this and I'm super blessed to be able to do it, and I should give. I actually brought you guys presents because sorry, you don't get one.
That's okay.
It's okay. I didn't know you were such a man jewelry person. I would have made you one. But I actually I make a bracelet that's for breast cancer awareness, and a portion of the proceeds go to breast cancer awareness. And I thought, is there a pink?
I love it. It's my favorite color. It's like
little
rose gold, like rose
beautiful.
gold. Okay, honestly, she is the best stuff ever. Everything from estate jewelry to little one-offs, whatever. Incredible jewelry by Olivia Kay. That's right. I love you so much.
You guys, I love you. Thank you for having me.
We're so grateful.
I love you so much. This woman is amazing.
Thank you for having me.
Stay tuned, you guys.
And next time I'll bring you something, I promise.
We are the Musketeers, and we proudly wear our ears. We mousing, we mousing, M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E, go Mickey Mouse. Good morning, La La Land.
Oh, I feel so motivated today. I have to be honest. Incredible day. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. And the beginning of the show, we're talking a little bit about emotions, and I think lots of us can accomplish a lot more if we could sort of control our emotions and our thoughts. I think that it's an undisciplined mind that leads us to accomplish so little, right? And so I guess the question I have for each of you is, what's the one tip or key that you would recommend to people for just being more disciplined about how they either approach their business or approach their life?
All right, I'll kick it off here.
Okay, I give you the mic.
I think one of the big problems people have, Rob, is that they take on too many decisions and they experience decision fatigue.
Yeah.
And how do you get rid of decision fatigue? You build a team around you so that you can delegate out 95% of the decisions. And this requires you to decide what you want in life. And there's only one thing you can have in life. You can either have control or you can have growth. But you can't have both. So to go up, you need to let go. And this requires you were talking about this before with Rudy, time efficiency. Well, you need to find people that you can empower, and everybody's capacity is not based on what they can do, but what they train the people around them to do. So this is the conversation of empowerment, and then allowing things to fall where they may fall, so that you can build them up and empower them. And this is what great leaders do. So that's the way you start getting ahead. You don't take on all the decisions yourself.
Love that. You know what's about to fall next? That mic. That was a mic drop right there.
Sure. I have a good one. You know, everybody has a to-do list, and it's always too long, right? So always look at the things that's going to take you from A to B. Like, what are the things that actually is going to take you to your goal? So that's my first. The other one is, when you have employees, everything has to have a process. So people are really clear about what has to be done. And if you don't have a process, that's when you get into trouble. So, are you next?
I mean, you can't just freestyle it. Make it up as you go.
I'll follow on from that because, yeah, big thing for me is, so I have 20 employees and it's a lot, and they're all remote too, so it's not in an office, so it adds a new dynamic. And the big game changer for me a year or so ago was just creating SOPs and systems for everything we do, trackers, logs, so now we're extremely organized, and you know, it still comes with challenges. People still drop the ball or don't do as much as they should, but it's improved it drastically. So for us, it was just, and even if you don't have employees or you're just a solopreneur, create SOPs, create goals and tasks for the day, create systems. And then the biggest key for me is if I'm doing anything more than once, I create an SOP and outsource it.
Awesome. Love that.
That's great.
That's great. I would say prioritize what's important.
Yeah.
Make lists. I love to make lists. And never underestimate the power of humor. I think it'll get you really, really far. And treat those that work for you and with you with respect.
Yeah.
And feed them. Always feed them.
That's right.
And caffeinate them.
Yes.
We are Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And you can catch all these interviews available as a podcast on iTunes.
That's right. We're waking up the world together. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and grab some jewelry while you're at it. And all these amazing people. Stay tuned.
Create
Have
your
a great
legacy.
day.
It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land.